Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This video tries to teach undergraduate students how to write a research paper. So let us start. This is a style sheet about how to write a research paper that includes talking about the main pages needed here, like the title page, dedication, acknowledgements, etc. The first stage in writing a research paper is the data collection, which is mainly brainstorming stage. To write a research paper, you need to collect data from different sources like books, journals, theses, websites, etc. It is the stage of brainstorming. First, you need to identify the keywords that are related to your title. When you find a source for your paper, look for these keywords, the most important words in the title. For example, if you are going to write about the tragic hero in Othello, in William Shakespeare's Othello, so here you have a tragic hero, you have Othello, and you have William Shakespeare. And you have to know that Othello is a play, it's not a poem. If you are going to write about, let us say, nouns in the English language, then you have nouns is the keyword. So you have to look for this. If you find these, let us say, or if you identify these keywords, then look for them in the table of contents and the index if available. So you have to look in searching books. What are these books which you need to search for as keywords? Let me show you some of these books that you need to, let us say, look for. If you identify the keywords, you need to go to books like dictionaries. First, before you go to dictionaries, you can go to search for, if you don't know, let us say, for example, you are asked to write about certain theme written by William Blake. You have to know who is William Blake. You can go to the internet and Google the name William Blake. After you find him, you know something about him, go to certain books that you may, let us say, that may help you to write about him. One of these books are dictionaries. For example, if you are writing about a topic that has grammar keywords, grammatical keywords, it writes about grammar, go to a dictionary of linguistics and phonetics. If you are writing about, let us say, this is also about language teaching. If your topic is about language teaching, there's a dictionary of language teaching. You can go and search for it. There is also a dictionary of translation studies if your topic is about translation. If your topic is about translation or interpreting, again, there is another dictionary. This is by John Laver and Ian Mason. If your paper is about a literary topic, poetry or drama or any other, let us say, literary topic, you can go to this dictionary. A dictionary of literary terms is also called a glossary of literary terms. Usually, all these dictionaries are divided alphabetically. You can research for your topic alphabetically. This is another dictionary of language and linguistics. You see, there are lots of dictionaries that help you. Sorry, let us go back again to these dictionaries. Another dictionary you may benefit from is called the Routledge Encyclopedia. So there are dictionaries, there are encyclopedias, there are also glossaries of translation studies. There is also a concise Oxford Dictionary of Literary Terms. Look at this button. If you look at it, then you find the terms. Let me show you how you find a term. You see, this is letter A. So if I go to letter A, like absurd, the absurd, for example, this is the term about, let us say, the movement of the absurds, academic drama, etc. Look here, there are other things which are divided alphabetically, and then you can look for these here. Another book which is very important for those who write about linguistics, semantics, pragmatics. This book is called A Comprehensive Grammar of the English Language. This is actually called the Bible of the English grammar. You see, there are 898 pages in this concise dictionary, and it is written by these four very famous authors in, let us say, language and linguistics. This is very important for those who write about grammar, linguistics, semantics, pragmatics, etc. There is another type of books that you can benefit from. They are called companions. For example, this is the Cambridge Companion to British Romantic Poetry. The companions, and there are another type which are called handbooks. The companions and handbooks usually are collections of papers, and they give you the main points about the thing they are talking about. For example, here translation studies and linguistics. You will find here a number of articles, each article that discusses a certain point, like here, translation and interpreting. This is about individuals and their interactions, etc. You find here articles, let us say, the main points about this field of study. Here, for example, the Cambridge Companion to British Romantic Poetry. If you go here, you can go to the index and find the pages for any topic you are, let us say, you want to talk about. Aesthetic of dialectical negation, commodity, Shelley, like here, Keats and Shelley, essays on songwriting, etc. And notice this is the page number. You can go to this page number and check this person. As you see here, this is the Routledge Handbook of Translation Studies. So here in these books, in these dictionaries, in these glossaries, in these handbooks or companions, you search for the keywords you are looking for. يعني let us see here in this dictionary of linguistics and phonetics. If I go here, and keep in your mind again that they are divided alphabetically. You can look for your topic alphabetically. I mean the keywords you are looking for. Let us go here quickly so that we see how this is divided. The terms, these are only introductory. You see here, A. The words at the end here, for example, the article A. You have here abbreviation, you have abbreviatory, abducted, etc. They are all divided alphabetically. Okay. As for the companion and the handbook, they contain articles, but they also provide you with the main points about the things you are writing about. So this is about the keywords. You look for them in these books. And also there is something important. There are certain free sites on the internet that may provide you with the free books. Let me show you one, for example. You can search here. This is the PDF drive. You can you have to have your own account, and then you can download the books. You write here, for example, I wrote a companion to Wordsworth, and then I found all these books. And don't forget that you can download them. First, you have to save them. And for example, this is the Cambridge Companion to English Novelists. You can save it to your drive, and then you download it. So this is deleted for certain copyright reasons. You see here, all these, you can download books from this PDF drive. You can also have Google Books. There is Academia, and there are lots of other sites that you can, let us say, find free books from which you can search. Now, after you identify the keywords, after you find them, you have to go to look for them in books. You find a book. So where do you search? Usually, you search in the title. If you identify the keyword in the title, then go to the table of contents. If you find it in the table of contents, this is okay. If you don't find it, go to the index. Go to the index. As the example I showed you here, if you look at the index of these books, this is the Cambridge Companion. If you go to the index here, look for the word you are looking for. You see, these are the page numbers. You can go to these page numbers. There are certain books that, let us say, are electronic and they are ebooks. So you will find them in blue. If you find them in blue, then you can go immediately to them. Let me find you one example, probably this one. I'm not sure. Anyway, so you go to the index. You see here, these are arranged alphabetically. When you press on any of these letters, you will find it immediately. Yani this is the C. You see here, the C starts from this page, calc or loan translation. If I go there, I'll find it here. Okay, so you go to the table of contents. If you don't find in the table of contents what you need, yani for example, if I go to this book, the Cambridge Companion to the, I go to the table of contents, Adamabi. There is no table of contents here. If I go to the table of contents here, list of contributors, introduction, contents. If I go to the contents, I look for my topic. Do I find it? This is the nature of language, translation, and interpreting. Probably I'm writing about the relation between language and translation, so I go there. Theories of linguistics and translation and interpreting, semantics and translation. For example, those who are writing about translation and meaning. This could be a good example. So I can go there and see, this is the title of the article, and this is the author of this article, which is different from the writer or the editor of the book. As you see here, there are editors. It is you see here, it is fortunately or unfortunately, it's the same one. But if you look for other papers, probably you will have other authors. Let's just go here. You see, this is individuals and their interactions, bilingualism. This is the author of this paper. You see here, a different author from the editor. So there is editor and there is author. Now, you identify the keywords. You look for a source. In the source, the title includes your keyword. You go to the table of contents or you go to the index if available, and then you find that your keyword is there. So you open the book, you open this chapter. Now, do you read them all? I mean the whole chapter? Or do you read all, let us say, the website you find? The answer is no. If you find them, skim the source to be sure that it is related to your topic. Yani the first step is to skim. How do you skim? Remember, you do not need to read the whole chapter or section to check the topic. Just skim it by reading the first and last sentence of a paragraph, or for the first and last paragraphs of a section or a chapter. When you are sure the source is related to your topic, now you read it extensively. My point is that some students are usually, let us say, afraid because this topic will be complicated. They have to read lots of books. No, you don't need to read lots of books. You read the things which are related to your topic only. Skim first, check that the source is related to your work, and then after you skim the first sentence and the last sentence, you read them, they are related to your work. After that, after you decide that it is related to your work, you can read it extensively. And don't forget, when you read it extensively, you have to understand everything. You have to take notes from the source. And if you find a difficult word, find its meaning. Now, when you find the source suitable, take notes from it. It is very important to take notes because when you start writing, probably after 2 or 3 works, after you finish collecting the data, you will find that you have forgotten what you have read at the beginning. So you must take notes. How do you take notes? First, look for the following pieces of information and write them down at the beginning of the file of notes if it is typed, or in a separate paper if it is handwritten. They will help you write the list of references. What do you need to write first? And you have to open a new file and then you write the title of the book, journal, thesis, article, website, because there are sometimes more than one title. The title of the book and the title of the article, as in the example I showed you. I'll give you an example of how to do this. So the information you need is the title, the writer's full name. The writer could be author, editor, or a translator. Then you have the publisher of a book, the edition of a book, the volume, if it is an article from a journal, or number of a journal, magazine, and a newspaper. The year, if the source is the website, write also the day, month, and year of retrieval. Website, if the source is online or an ebook, and date of retrieval means day, month, year. It is also useful to write where did you get the source from. To give you an example, let me show you look at this example. This is a student that is writing a research paper. She collected the important, let us say, information about the writer. The title here, this is a book, this is the author's name, this is the publisher, this is the edition, and of course she forgot here to write the year, the publisher, edition, year, and the city. Now, she found a certain quotation from this book. So she wrote the page number. It's not, let us say the page number is not only the only thing that is important. It is very important to identify what is the topic of this quotation. Now, where do you get the topic? You can get it from the first sentence because it includes the topic, or this is the first sentence. Sometimes a speaker would say exactly the opposite of what he means. What is this? This is irony. Probably the irony is the title of the section, or it could be the title of the chapter. But mainly, we get the idea from the first sentence. If we go down, you see translating pronouns. She got it from the first sentence. This is translating pronoun, and this is the page number. Yani you identify the topic of every quotation you take. This is another source. As you see here, in this source, she got the author's name, the publisher, the edition, and the year. Then, again, she starts quoting. But again, she has to provide the topic for this quotation, which is taken from the first sentence. So when you take notes, you have to write the information of the source, okay? Where is the author? Where is the title of the book, the publisher, the edition, etc. You have to state all these, then you write the what you quote between 2 quotation marks, and then the page number. Okay, so this is how we write the notes from these sources. The notes from these sources. Okay, now some students ask me, where do I find these pieces of information? Now let us go to the sources again. Let us go to the sources again. Look for this source. Let us go to this source. Where do I find the title? Of course, this is the title, A Dictionary of Linguistics and Phonetics. This is the 6th edition. Okay, this is the author, David Crystal, and this is the publisher, Blackwell. If I don't find these, I mean the publisher, for example, go to this page, the title page. Here, you see Dictionary of Linguistics, David Crystal. This is the 6th edition, 2008. This is the title page. You see, this is the title, this is the edition, this is David Crystal, and this is the publisher. Sometimes some books write the city below the publisher. If you don't find it, you can find the city here. Notice this is a number of years. Why these years are, this is the copyright, as you see here, this is the copyright. You have 1980 until 2008. This is the 6th edition, so you have to take this date, not the first one. Where do you find the city? You see here, it's Victoria, or probably Carlton. Okay, so it's Victoria, the country is Australia. It is also published in the United Kingdom, in Oxford, so you can take Oxford as a first city, or here, Malden. This is Malden in Massachusetts. These are the cities. It's published in these 3 countries at the same time, so it's better to take the first city, which is Malden. If I take another example, this is the Longman Dictionary of Language Teaching and Applied Linguistics. Longman is a very famous publisher. So this is like Longman, like Routledge. Routledge is a very also famous publisher. These are the authors. It is the 3rd edition. Where do I find the city? Again, if it is not written on the first page, this is the title page. You see, this is Longman. Pearson Education, you see, you take the first city. Let me make it bigger so that you can see it clearly. You see here, under the publisher, you find the cities. It's published in all these cities at the same time. So you pick the first one. Where do you get the date? This is the date. Look for this C. The C is the copyright. After it, you see, this is the 2nd edition in 1992. Your edition, the 3rd edition is 2002. So you take the 2002. Another example to make it clearer. This is a dictionary of translation studies. Mark Shuttleworth and Mary, these are the authors. Let me look for, you see, this is the publisher, Routledge. Under Routledge, here you find London. This is the 1st edition because it doesn't mention another edition. So the copyright here, you see, Mark Shuttleworth and Mary Cowie. It is 1997. Let us look at this book. It is also, here you have 4 authors. You write all their names together. Cambridge Companion, director of so and so. Let me find the title page. It is edited by. So here you don't have author. This is editor. This is editor. But since it is a companion, again, look here. Let us look if there are other. It is the publisher is Cambridge University Press. So this is Cambridge. And this is the year. If we go down to the book, you see here, it's a collection of papers. So here you have an editor and you have an author. This is the author of this article. The title of the article is Romantic Poetry, Sexuality, and Gender. So you have the title of the book and the title of the article. You have the editors and you have this is the author. If you go to another article, this is Poetry, Peripheries, and Empire. This is the title of the article, and Tim Fulford is the author. So in this source, you have companion. This is the title of the book. Okay, this is in the, it's clearer here in the title page. The Cambridge Companion to British Romantic Poetry. You see, you have here 2 editors, James Chandler and Morin and MacLean. You have 2 editors. You have the title of the article, and you have the author of the source. Okay? Now, let us go back again to the style sheet. If you are looking in a journal, you will find the volume and a number, but you don't need a publisher. Neither a publisher nor a city. Only the volume and number. If I give you an example, let us continue. So, after you identify the keywords, after you find what you need, okay, you identify the keywords in the table of contents or in the index. We said you take notes. Before you write the notes, you write the information needed. The information, the pieces of information are the title, writers, publisher, edition, volume or number, year, and website. Let me give you an example of a website. If your paper is about William Blake's poetry, and you open this website, this is a website on William Blake. You search for William Blake and you find this. This is the website. The title of the website is Britannica. You see, this is the title of the website. The article's title is William Blake, British writer and artist. Notice there is no author here, but there's an author here written by G.E. Bentley. So this is the author, okay? And this is the title of the article, and this is the title of the website. You also need this. Don't forget, never to write this site, okay, with your own hands. Copy it and paste it. But here again, I remind you, you have the title of the website, you have the title of the article, here you have the author, and notice here we have an let us say this is the date. You have the year here, but you need another year, which is the day, the month, and the year of the retrieval. Yani if I took it today is the 17th of February, 2024, I write it as a day of retrieval. Okay? Now we go back to the style sheet. After identifying everything, you see here the website, I have the title, I have the writer's full name, and I have the website. If the source is online or an ebook, I need the date of retrieval, yani like this day. It is also useful to write where did you get the source from me. Yani if you got the source from me, write beside it Dr. Sausen. If you got it from the library of your college, write the College of Education library. If you got it from your colleague, write the name of your colleague. This is for a future reference. And if you are a third-year student, and then you go to the fourth year, when you need to write about the same topic, it will be easier for you to check the sources again. Now, just like in brainstorming, when you write an essay, do not neglect any idea you may think suitable. This is the first stage. So when you collect data, do not neglect any data that you think is related to your work. But when you find an idea in a source, write the page number, chapter or paragraph if there is no page, the main topic of the idea, and then quote it between two inverted commas as I showed you in the example. So, chapter or paragraph, the main topic or of the idea, and then quote it between two inverted commas. Usually, you will find the topic in the topic sentence, as I showed you, usually the first sentence, or the title of the chapter, or title of the section. Now, after you finish collecting the data, you need a plan for writing your paper. After you finish collecting the data, make a plan from them. This plan will make the sections of the paper. يعني if I go back to the example of your colleague, you see here, in this example, your colleague collected a number of, let us say, information from passages, from books, from different sources, and she provided titles for them. And this is about irony, this is about translating the pronouns, this is about cohesion. You collect all these topics, and then you arrange them to make your own plan. Now, you finish your plan, you rearrange, you start writing the research. Now, the research will be divided into numbered sections according to the plan. However, it is better to divide the research into the following sections. The first section will be an introduction. We also call it preliminaries. Preliminaries are the main points. Here, the main problem of the topic, and when I say problem, it doesn't mean difficulties. It means the subject you are talking about. The problem of the topic is introduced without details. The keywords are defined and explained. The second section or sections will be a review of literature. By literature here, I don't mean poem, I don't mean poetry or drama or novel. No, literature are the sources that talk about your topic. The main body of the research is stated here. It can be divided into further sections, for example, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, etc. The titles of these sections depend on your topic. And you can use without numbering. You can number them or you can neglect numbering. Each section or paragraph will contain topic sentence, supporting sentences. These supporting sentences could be quotations, examples, paraphrases, statistics, opinions, etc. Then you need a conclusion that offers a transition to the next section or paragraph. And don't forget to use transition words. To use transition words to move from one idea to the other or from one paragraph to the other. This means your paragraphs need to be related. You need to have cohesion and coherence. How to achieve this? You can repeat certain words, you can repeat it, you can use the pronouns, you can use the transition words in order to join the things, the data you collected. Then you need a section about the conclusions. The student here summarizes the main ideas in the research. Now, you need quotations. So if you quote, if you paraphrase, if you summarize, you need in-text citation. To use the collected data, you need to quote, paraphrase, or summarize your sources. When you quote directly, you use the actual, you use the actual words of the book or article you quote from. Use quotation marks. This is the quotation marks. Summarized and paraphrased quotations of any number of lines are written without quotation marks because they are your own words. With quotations, paraphrases, and summaries, you should cite the author's last name, year, and page number if available. To introduce the quotation, paraphrase, or summary, you can use paraphrase according to. You need certain verbs, certain words to introduce your quotations. These are some of these verbs: comment, assert, insist, note, state, etc. But when you use them, be careful about the subject. If you have a number of authors, use the plural form. If you have one author, use the third person, the S with the verb. And don't forget to use the simple present tense. In academic writing, the simple present tense is very common. This is an example. The Flensburg Polytechnic in Germany offers a 4-year degree course for technical translators. Notice, this is the author, this is the year, and because you have 2 page numbers from 99 to 103, this means, 103. You have here 4 pages. In this case, you use PP. Look, how do I move to another quotation? And this is, by the way, this is a paraphrase or a summary. Scherf, another author. Now, I use the author without the parentheses. Scherf, 1992, page 160. You see, I use 1992, comma, then the page number 160, then I close the parentheses. Notice I use the verb outlines. Outlines here with S because Scherf is one person. The approach of this university, etc. Notice here, Gabe et al. The word et al. Means that there are other authors, more than two. If you have 3 authors and more, I use et al. 2015 and the page. Notice here the verb is without S because here you have 3 authors or more. I use state here, I use outlines here, etc. Use any of these verbs to, let us say, state your quotation. State that the objective of a computer-assisted translation courses is to. Notice the quotation here is between 2 inverted commas. These are the exact words of the source. And because they are less than 3 lines, I put them inside the quotation. Okay, inside the quotation. Further, this is a transition word. Okay, it is one of the essential ways to pursue in order, and then I state another quotation. But because here the author of this quotation is the same as the author of this quotation, I only write the page number. I don't need to repeat this author. If you use the exact words of the source, put them between quotation marks inside the text if they are less than 3 lines. As you see here, they are less than 3 lines. When you refer to the same source in the same page, write the number of page or pages with the appropriate pronouns. Yani if I, for example, if I'm talking about this, I can say they. If I'm talking about Scherf, I can say he. If it is Mona Baker, I say she. Now, when you refer to the same source in the same page, write the number of pages with the appropriate pronouns. You see here, it's only the page number, but with the appropriate pronouns. If there are 2 authors, use and between their last names, but use this symbol inside the parentheses. If there are 3 or more authors, only the first author is named, followed by et al. So here, Gabe et al. As the example. Look at this example. Jael, this is one person, 1995, comma, and then the page number 13. Touches upon, you see the verb has an S. This point, and then, and you see, I introduce the quotation. I don't start the paragraph by a quotation immediately. You have to introduce it by using your own words. Are, essentially, you see, this is the quotation. But for him, notice I use him. This is a pronoun to refer to Jael. The similarities are far away, etc. Far outweigh the differences. He, notice I'm talking about Jael. And I use the page number. I don't need to repeat 1992. Note that, you see, once I use touches upon, once I use notes, I use outlines, any of these verbs. Okay? He, and then I introduce the quotation with my own words. Probably I use only one word from him. Notice here you have 2 authors. When you have 2 authors, I use and in the body of the text. But when I quote, notice this quotation is more than 3 lines. This is why it is pushed, it's indented for 2 centimeters. Here I use padilla and I use this symbol. Yani between parentheses, I use this symbol. But inside the text, I use and. Then the year and the page. Note that if the number of lines of the quotation is 3 lines or more, it should be indented. You see here, this is more than 3 lines, so it is indented to the right, and the source is written below in the right. Notice that when part of the quoted text is deleted, 3 dots are used. And if I want to add something, we use 2 square brackets. You see here? Now, there is a deletion here, and there is an addition here. Why do I use addition? Because sometimes when I delete, probably I delete the subject or the object or complete sentences, so I need to make my quotation grammatical. I should use the quotation, and the final thing, the final result should be grammatical. And don't forget, notice here, it is written, the source is written at the right side of your quotation. When you cite poetry, now this is about ordinary writings. When you come to poetry or probably drama, Elizabethan drama or another drama, when you quote less than 3 lines of poetry, state the number of stanza and lines after them. If you quote 3 lines or more of poetry, write them in separate indented 2 centimeters, just like these. And if it is in the middle, you quote them, you use quotation marks. If you use 3 lines or more, write them in separate indented 2 centimeters from the left, followed by the number of stanza, if available. And lines here, L, because they are more than, let us say, they are more than 1 line. As in the example below, you see here, this is from the Dunciad. Okay, it's a very long poem. When the writer quotes 2 lines, I separate it by this slash. When 2 lines are written inside the body, we separate them by this slash. You see here, this is line. Sorry, this is the stanza. This is the second stanza, and this is the line. And the stanza is written in, actually, it's a very long poem that is divided into certain sections. So this is the second one. The number of the line is 324. Now, this is a quotation of more than 2 lines. Okay? So this is the section. This is the line numbers. You will also need to use sources from the internet when you write essays. Some of these have authors, some have titles only and no author, and some have no date. There are rules to follow in all these scenarios. These are the examples. This is from the APA, the last version. If there is an author, use the author date format. It means Smith, 1990, just like you would for a book or article, for example. If this is taken from online, you don't have the page number. So I write, and I have the author, I have the year, I write them. If no author is identified, okay, again, we are talking about websites. Use the first few words of the title in place of the author. These must be placed within double quotation marks, for example. Don't forget, this is the parentheses. This is the first or 2 lines, or it is the title of the article, then the year. If no date is provided, use ND for no date. This is an abbreviation for no date in place of the date. For example, Victorian poetry. This is the title of the article from the website, and this is the no date. To cite a specific part of a source, indicate the page, chapter, figure, table, or equation at the appropriate point in text. Of course, we don't have equations in literary texts. Always give page numbers. Always give the page numbers for quotations. Note that the words page and chapter are abbreviated in such citations. For example, Cheek and Bus, 1981, and this is the page number. If I don't have a page number because it is an ebook and you don't have only a page numbers, but you have the chapter, you say, for example, this is a short form for chapter. If you don't have chapters, you can use paragraph. These are from electronic sources. As for books or journals, they are provided. Now we come to the page numbering. After finishing the body of the research, write the other needed pages: the title page, dedication, acknowledgements, table of contents, tables if needed. These pages will be numbered in Roman numerals. The body of the research is numbered in an Arabic numeral. Let me give you an example. I'll show you here an example of a research paper from previous years. Okay, so let me take this one. This is an example from a year from previous, let us say, years. Yes, this one. You see, this is the title page. You have here your university and the title of your paper, this cliche, and the student's name, my name, or the researcher's, the supervisor's name, then the month. This is the dedication. Notice it is numbered in Roman numerals. The dedication, the acknowledgements are also numbered in a numeral on the right side of the paper. This is also in Roman numerals, the abstract, then the table of contents, the list of abbreviation, again, Roman numerals. Now, when we start the paper, the body, this is the title of your paper. It is numbered in Arabic numerals. The first page, you write the number below, but the rest of the pages, the number of the page will be on the right side. As you see here, all these papers until we reach to the references. You see, the references is also numbered according to Arabic numerals. You see how the references are written? They are hanging. This is the author. This is the title of the book. This is the city. And then you have the publisher, then the year. If it is something online, unfortunately, the student doesn't have online sources. So this is how the pages are numbered. The title page, you see, this is the example. You have to write your title here, your name is here, and your supervisor. It should be preceded by the title of your professor. Is he a professor, assistant, or instructor, assistant instructor? Then after that, after you write your supervisor's name, a comma, you write his degree, let us say degree. Does he have a PhD or an MA? The dedication, this is the second page in your research. A dedication is written to present the paper to somebody the student considers worthy of this present. It is usually very short, with very lines. Here you have examples. To my dear parents, to my late brother. If your paper of this brother is dead, your grandmother, you want to present it to a dead person, use late. Acknowledgements, this is the third page in your research. In the acknowledgements, the student thanks those who have helped her in one way or another, usually academically. The thanks usually start with the most helpful, who actually helped in the writing of the paper. Head of the department, your supervisor, teachers, librarian, to the least helpful, who helped morally or financially. Colleagues, probably, friends, family members, typists even. Divide acknowledgements into paragraphs. You see here, this is an example. To your supervisor, to the head of the department, to your teachers. If you don't know his, let us say, academic title, say Miss or Mrs. or Mr. Now, what do you write in the introduction or abstract? This is the fourth page in your research. This is mostly a page that states the following: what this paper is about. We call it the problem. The research is trying to solve or talk about what difficulties one finds with this problem. In other words, the topic of the paper. يعني this paper is about, let us say, the tragic hero in Othello. Full stop. It is not easy to identify the tragic hero in modern poetry, but Othello is an Elizabethan poet, let us say drama, so we can talk, etc. These are the difficulties. The second paragraph is about why you write about this problem or topic. In other words, what your aim or aims is. Now, you will find that there is overlap between these two. The third thing is what you think about this problem and how to solve it. In other words, what your hypothesis is. As a student researcher, this will be about the procedure. In other words, the plan of the research. It means the first, let us say, section will introduce the main or the keywords in this research. The second section will talk about, etc., etc. And finally, what you have achieved in this paper, state some of your conclusions. The table of contents, a table of contents follows the abstract, then the list of abbreviations if needed. Usually those who write about grammar, those who write about translation may need a list of abbreviations. List of figures and table. Caption of figures are written below, whereas those of tables are written above. Be careful about this. Then the conclusions, usually for you, they are mostly they represent a short summary of the main points stated in the research paper. Now we come to the references, which are also the works cited. These references include the sources you actually cited or quoted from in the text of your paper, and probably use more than the works you are going to quote. Only mention only the things you are going to quote from. Now, these things, these, let us say, sources could be books. If you have a book, write the author's surname, first name, title. Notice the title of a book is written in italics. And be careful about these quotation marks. The author's surname, his family name, comma, then the first name. Edition, if there is an edition. City, then you have a colon, then the publisher, full stop, then here. Look at this example, Dawson C. Now in the APA edition, usually we take the family name and the first letter of the second name, but you can write the full name. Like here, for example, Crystal is David Crystal. So I say Crystal, comma, and then D. Dawson C. Religion and Culture, this is the title of the book. This is the city, and because it's the first edition, there is no need for edition. Then this is the publisher, and this is the year. If it is a second edition, you see, I write it here. Notice, I quote from two books from the same author, who is Crystal. In this case, you don't need to repeat Crystal D. Just use these. A number of dots or a number of dashes, then the other book. And when you arrange them according to date. Yani the first, okay, and then the most modern one. Notice this, these are two authors, Botner, M, and Gates, John. I can use only J. Notice family name, comma, then the first name, and family name, comma, and the first name. A dictionary of American. This is the second revised edition. And notice here I have an editor. Where do you put the editor? You put it here. Edited by Adams McKee. After the author. New York, Barron Educational Series. This is the publisher and the year. Now, notice this is a translator. I write it like this. Okay? If it is only the editor, and I have only the editor, for example, this is the editor. In this case, I write like this, AD. This is going to be the editor. Okay? Like here, a translator or editor. These are three authors. Notice, I write the family name of the first, then the first name, then I use a colon. You see this is colon? then the first name, sorry, the family name, and this is the first name. As for the third author, I say and then family name, and this is the first name. This is the book, this is the city, and this is the publisher and the year. Notice this book it doesn't have a date. So at the end, I say ND. This book, Semantics by Lyons, has 2 volumes. So I write 2 volumes. As for articles, you see, in an article, the articles are either they are published in journals or in books. If it is in a journal, I write the author's full name, then the first. Notice you always start with the family name. Then the title between 2 inverted commas, title of journal, volume, then you have a colon and number, the pages. PP because the first page and the last page. Then the year. Look here, As-Safi, Abdul Baqi, and Al-Sharifi, IS, Naturalness in Literary Translation. Babel is the title of the journal, okay? Then you have the volume, and you have the number. The pages, you see, the first page is 60, and the last page is 65, and this is the year. You may also have articles in books. Here you write the author's surname, again the family name, then the first name, the title of the article, and then I write in. After that, I write the title of the book, okay? I write the pages again, the first page and the last page, and then I write the name of the editor. But be careful. With the editor's name, I don't write the family, then the first. No, I write it as it is. The first, then the family. City, publisher. Look here. 9-day Eugene. This is the title of his article. Notice the title of the book is written in italics. Then you have comma and PP 90 to 100. It is edited by, notice, Del Himes. I don't say Himes, comma, Del. It is Del Himes. New York, Harper, etc. Look at this example. This is by Al-Baki Munir. And this is his article in his dictionary. It is annexed. It is used as a next ملحق to Al-Mawrid Beirut, Dar al-Ilm al-Malayin, and 2022. This is another example. Now when go to theses, theses are written between 2 inverted commas. I write the first surname, then the first name, the title. Notice it is not written in italics. And I write unpublished postgraduate degree. Whether it is MA or PhD, I have to decide. Then the city and university and year. Look, this is Gabor M. Renaissance Translation Programs, etc. Sorry, reassessing. This is the title of the thesis. Okay? Full stop. Unpublished, because it's unpublished. If it is a thesis, it's unpublished. If it is a published, it becomes a book. Then I decide whether it is MA or PhD. Then I write the word thesis, Pennsylvania. This is the city. And then Washington International University. The university, and then the year. Al-Khafaji, trans language, a basic, etc. You see, unpublished PhD thesis, Baghdad, Al-Mustansira University, 1998. For dictionaries and encyclopedias, these references are usually not written by one author, but rather by a group of authors or institutions even. Thus, they are documented as title. You see, I don't have author. If there is an author, I write him. If there is an editor, also I write his name. But if there is not, just write the title, then the city, publisher, year. Or author, surname, first name, title, edition, city, like an ordinary book. Look, this is Encyclopedia Britannica, the new. This is the city, and then the publisher. After that, the year. Hornby, A.S., Oxford. You see, there is an author for this Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary of Current English. Then the edition, then edited by. You see here, I have an editor and I have an author. London, Oxford University Press. When we come to websites, the author's surname, if it is available, then first name, then they put it at the end, title of article, or you can put it at the beginning because you have another year. In website, you write the website between these, you have to use these. Okay, you use these for the website. Okay, date of retrieval, month, day, month, and year. Avoid using the Wikipedia. Never to forget, the Wikipedia is changed every now and then. If you find a site, it's better to have a PDF site because they will be more limited. See the following example, Adams Nicole. There is no date for this site. And this is the title of the article. This is the title of the article. And the site is Translation Journal. This is the title of the site. July issue. And then you have the site, the website, and retrieved on so and so. Thank you for listening.